Today I'm presenting my rhetorical presentation on Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech. Martin Luther King was a major leader in the American civil rights movement who fought for racial equality and justice using nonviolent protest. In his famous speech, I Have a Dream, delivered during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, he spoke about ending racism and segregation in the United States. He described his dream of a future where people are judged by their character and not by the color of their skin. Here I described all the rhetorical devices that I could have used to describe this. Pathos appeals to the audience's feelings. An example of this would be happiness, sympathy, sadness, or anger. Ethos appeals to trust and credibility, and this would be an example of a doctor giving medical advice to a patient because they are trained professionals and went to school for it. Logos appeals to logic and facts, and this is definitely used in Martin Luther King's speech, but I feel like pathos connected to the audience more. And how pathos, ethos, and logos applies to I Have a Dream. Martin Luther King strongly appeals to emotion in his speech. He is describing devastating aspects of his life and how it has affected African Americans in the United States. He establishes the emotion he feels to connect with the audience's feelings and opinions. He uses emotional reasoning to share his feelings and explains what he wants to advocate for African Americans in the United States. Pathos was the most reasonable device he could have used, especially when he wanted to connect to such a large audience. These devices impacted the audience because it helped him connect with them through emotion, gave him reasoning about why he was fighting for equality. He uses logical reasoning by pointing out that America has not fulfilled promise of equality. His main goal was to inspire change in the United States. Even if pathos was used more in the speech than any of the other devices, I still felt that it was necessary for him to include all three of them in his speech, which he did. His speech is powerful because it combines emotion, trust, and reasoning to inspire change and convince people that equality is both necessary and required in the United States. All of these devices together created a powerful speech for the audience and changed the nation's point of view on equality forever. He connected emotionally using pathos, and is crucial in his I Have a Dream speech because it turns his message from just words into something that people feel and are moved and inspired to act on. Martin Luther King wanted more than agreement. He wanted change. By describing the pain of injustice and the hope of a better future, he had hopes that the listeners feel anger at inequality and hope for unity in the United States. That emotional connection helped people personally relate to the issue, even if they weren't directly experiencing discrimination. After Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his I Have a Dream speech in 1963, it helped create major positive change in the United States. The speech brought huge national attention to the civil rights movement and increased public support for ending segregation and discrimination. When this speech was going on, there's multiple videos and clips of the large audience that he was explaining it to and how they all felt moved. It helped build momentum that led to important laws like the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which banned segregation and discrimination, and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which protected African Americans' right to vote. And like I said, it also inspired more people, both black and white Americans, to join the movement and push for equality. Overall, the speech played a key role in moving the country closer to fairness, civil rights, and unity. Using pathos is extremely important because it can grab the attention and make the message more memorable. It can build empathy, helping people understand others' struggles, especially those who had not been personally affected by it. In his speech, he wanted to motivate action, which inspired people to support the civil rights movement in the United States. Without that emotional appeal, the speech might have been logical, but it wouldn't have had the same powerful impact or ability to inspire millions to push for equality in the United States.